Hey, what's going on, everybody? Brian Daniels here. Welcome to one of my first videos, really, in a while here on what is now called The Domain. And real quick, before I get into this conversation about Cyberpunk, I want to tell you guys what this channel is all about. I decided to change it to The Domain instead of putting my last name on there because I don't want it to feel like it's just mine. It's for everyone. And The Domain is not just about video games. This is about gaming in general. So there might be some videos where I play some board games or do some video game reviews, might even do some board game reviews. That'd be kind of cool. And so this is all about gaming culture and gaming reviews. So I'm the kind of person that doesn't like to limit themselves on what they can cover. And as much as I love video games, there's a lot of things in gaming that I also am passionate about as well, like, trading card games, tabletop games, Dungeons and Dragons. Maybe we'll do something like that later on down the road here on this channel. But for now, we're going to talk about video games. And a very important game was just released a few days ago, a game that people have been waiting nearly a decade for to release, and that game being Cyberpunk 2077. And yes, it is real. It is out. It is available. I know a friend of mine was like, he can't believe that he saw me holding it. But yes, this is this game is now in my hands, and I've been waiting forever for this. So this game is developed and published by CD Projekt Red. They're very well known for their Witcher series of games, and this game has been in development for about 8 years now. And it has felt like such a long time. This is not a final review of the game. This is more like a first impressions type video of my thoughts on the game after having played for about 12 hours now. And let me tell you, there's a lot to talk about here. Well, first things first, this is not a bad game. It's not a horrible game. It's not a garbage game. As a matter of fact, I'm really enjoying the game, especially the story, with some really great twists and turns at every corner. You play as the main character V, which you can customize, which is something you couldn't do before in The Witcher, where you had to play as Geralt and couldn't change gender or anything like that. But in this game, you play as V, and you can customize your character. You can make him male, female. You can even customize his genitalia, or his or her or whomever's genitalia, which is really strange, but hey, future of gaming, right? Anyway, you have several customization options. I think I probably spent about 45 minutes to an hour trying to customize my character and tailor it to the way I like to look, which is kind of weird considering the game mostly takes place in first person. You don't play the game from a third person perspective like you did with the Witcher games, especially Witcher 3. However, I like the atmosphere in this game. It does take place, obviously, in the year 2077 as you explore the illustrious town of Night City. And in this game, I can't go into the story. There's too much to talk about without giving away spoilers. I just encountered Johnny Silverhand last night. For those who don't know, that is the character played by Keanu Reeves, who does an excellent job as voicing this character, and he gives you that. You get that attitude from him right off the bat. I want to talk about the good before I get into the bad, because there's some bad to talk about here, but nothing that's too we'll say gonna disrupt the flow of of the game. It's okay. That's just my dog. She has some wheezing issues there, but there you go. But anyway, we after playing for about 12 hours. This game has a very amazing story. Dare I say, probably one of the best stories I've played in a game so far. It's very engaging right off the bat. You get to choose from one of three what they call life paths, whether you want to be a nomad, a street kid, or what they call a corpo, which is their lingo for a corporation. And depending on what you choose is how the game starts and where the game starts its setting, and it just kind of goes from there. I'm a street kid, so I wanted to be in the city and know the lingo. I have the street smarts. Dialogue choices are present in this game, much like you would expect from another CD Projekt Red game, much like The Witcher. You have different dialogue choices based off of your character. This is a very RPG-heavy game, which you would come to expect, considering Cyberpunk started out as a tabletop RPG, much like Dungeons & Dragons. It was actually created by the same people that actually made The Witcher tabletop RPG games as well. And the gameplay is great. The game, it's very beautiful. Night City is very beautiful. It's very cyberpunk, what you would expect. You have cyberhumans, some that have metal arms or have had their eyes changed so they can have better eyesight for certain things. You can also do hacking, and what they call net running in the game is what they call that. And I will tell you this. The hacking elements in this game remind me of the game Watch Dogs, where you hold down a button and you can look around you and see what things you can hack into. You can hack into cameras, you can hack into people, because people have cybernetic parts, so you can blind people's optics so they can't see you, so you can sneak up on them. You can even detonate their grenades, which is pretty cool. So like if you run into a group of enemies with grenades, you can cyber hack their grenades and cause their grenades to explode and take out a ton of enemies. There's definitely a multitude of ways to play this game, especially when it comes to encountering enemies. There's stealth options, there's run and gun, or there's the hacking meets stealth meets run and gun, where all three come together, and it's just amazing. So for those of you that like some stealth, or maybe you just want to be Rambo and be a badass and just run in and just kill whatever, you can play however you want. You don't even need to use the hacking if you don't want to, which I think would be kind of weird considering this game is all about that sort of thing. Other than that, from my 12 hours of playing, I will say that I'm very satisfied with what I've been playing, the gameplay wise. But then we get into the graphics. And this is where we get into the issues. This game has been in development for about 8 years now. And it actually was delayed 3 times. 3 times. We didn't even know if we were ever going to get to play this game, especially this year. And with it being released on December the 10th, that was the third time it was delayed, was to that date. And as you can see here, it's in everybody's hands now. But there are some issues. There's some bugs, glitches. I will tell you, based off of my own 12-hour experience so far, I've already encountered the game has crashed on me 4 times. And what I mean by that is it has crashed to the point where the game resets my console back to the dashboard. And it's just so incredibly awful, especially when you're in the middle of a mission and you find yourself, and that's when it tends to happen, these crashes. It seems like as if it's just the game itself is being overwhelmed with so much that it can't handle what's everything. That's my dog again. It can't handle everything going on at once. And so the deal is that it seems to me when all these things are happening, that's when the game either crashes or it'll freeze sometimes too. Like if you're driving, the game will freeze. I noticed that it does happen quite a bit when driving. The game will end up freezing. And then that's when you don't know if... I'll pick you up. Come here. That's when you don't know if the game is going to... if the game is going to crash or not. You don't know if the game's going to crash. And you're kind of just like, please don't reset the console back to the main menu or back to the dashboard. I myself am playing on an Xbox One X, so it is still considered last-gen hardware, which seems to be the case with everybody who's playing this game, whether you're on an Xbox, regular Xbox, an Xbox Series One S. Man, there's so many consoles. An Xbox One S, a regular Xbox, an Xbox One X, a PS4, or a PS4 Pro. You're having technical issues. Some people aren't having any issues, and that's great. But a lot of people are having issues. And my thing is that, this game, everybody should be able to experience this game in a means of not having to have all these issues. I want to say this, though. To be fair to CD Projekt Red, you have to consider all the consoles they had to develop this game for in the past 8 years. I mean, think about it. We're talking I think there's about 9 different platforms they had to make this game for. We're talking PC, Stadia, Xbox, regular OG Xbox, Xbox One S, Xbox Series X, Xbox One X, PlayStation 4, PS4 Pro, and the PS5. So we're looking at 9 different platforms they had to develop this game for, of which 3 of those platforms being the now current gen, the Xbox Series S and X, and the PS5. Those aren't even out yet, and those updates won't be available until sometime later in 2021. So you have to understand it was probably very hard for them to try to have to keep up, considering they didn't know when the new consoles were going to release. None of us knew when these consoles were going to release until August, so that might be the reason why they had to delay it and push it back. But man, 9 different platforms. And this goes into my other issue. I really hope that we don't have any mid-tier, mid-console generation releases anymore, because this makes it harder for companies like CD Projekt Red, Rockstar Games, you name it, when they develop these huge open world settings that have so much to do and so many characters and activities and etc. Imagine trying to make that work on 9 different platforms. That's no small task at all. And maybe they should just develop, PC, Xbox One X, PS4 Pro, and PS5. Maybe they should have kept it to that. Of course, they didn't want to alienate old gen tech, but the PS4 and Xbox One have been out for 8 years now, 7 years, something like that. So, I mean, I know they wanted to be inclusive and try to get as many people in this game into many people's hands as possible, because everybody's been waiting for, like I said, almost a decade to play. And, some people are experiencing cars that are upside down when they load their game, or cars that aren't even driving on the road. They're driving into the... they're going past the ground, so it looks like they're driving in some weird under whatever you want to call that. It looks weird. And a lot of people are experiencing these issues and glitches and bugs. But I want to say it does not take away from how amazing this game is as far as story, gameplay elements, things like that. There's a gameplay element called brain dancing, which reminds me of, if you've ever played Detroit Become Human, it reminds me of that, where you have to fast forward and rewind and fast forward and find certain elements, and it has you experiencing as if you were in the body of somebody else. It's really interesting gameplay, and it has you switching between 3 different things visually and sound and things like that. So I mean, it has some investigative gameplay into it, which I love. The choices are there's everywhere. I mean, it's a massive role-playing game. So, I mean, there's so much choice, so many, the leveling is amazing. As far as customization goes, is amazing. But it's disappointing, I'll say, that I want to be able to enjoy this game to the fullest, but at the same time, I can't really, because of of just kind of being nervous about, is my game going to crash? Is my game going to freeze? Am I going to get stuck? And I find myself saving way more than I ought to. And the other issue is this game, on consoles anyway, doesn't even run in HDR. It actually has fake HDR. There was a news outlet somewhere that tested this to see if it actually had real high dynamic range, and it doesn't. And actually turning on the HDR on your consoles makes the game look worse. I actually tested this out late last night. I turned off the HDR and it looks amazing. It looks even better. That should not be the case. We have 4K TVs. We have 4K TVs that are intended to have high dynamic range. We shouldn't have to turn them off. But for those who don't remember, when Red Dead Redemption 2 came out several years back, they also had this exact same problem of not having true HDR, and Rockstar ended up having to patch it. Now, there is a patch coming out. It was released for PlayStation and for PC. I'm not sure yet, as of this recording, whether or not if that's available now on the Xbox One consoles or not. I'm going to find out here soon. But so far, what I'm playing, I really hope these technical issues get resolved. But if I had to trust any company to take care of them, CD Projekt Red most certainly will. There was issues on The Witcher 3, and it was an amazing game. I wanted to say at first this game wasn't a masterpiece, but I don't know yet. We'll have to see. I haven't finished the game. There's going to be hours upon hours upon hours of things to do here. If you're familiar with The Witcher and the question marks all over the map to have you find and discover things, it's just like that here. Although I'm disappointed that I have yet to encounter any mini games yet, like Gwent in The Witcher 3, the card game that had actually ended up having its own standalone game later that CD Projekt Red came out with. No mini games yet, so we'll see, unless they count the brain dancing thing, but I don't think that will be the case. Anyway, these are just my only impressions on Cyberpunk 2077. Let me know in the comment section below what you're thinking of it so far. Let me know what console you're playing on. Let me know if you're having issues, and if you're not having issues, let me know in the comment section below. And as always, if you like what you're watching here on The Domain, please hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. We'll let you know every time a new video comes out here. And also, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, you know what else you can do instead. Other than that, my name is Brian Dills. Thank you so much for watching this video. Until next time, see you guys. Bye.